Peace and blessings, everyone. Yours truly, Jimmy Williams, again, back with another informative video. I just want to take a moment and say thank you, subscribers, for being a part of my entire network, watching all my content and subscribing, and to the Cryptex family. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm happy to have you on my team. And if you're not on my team, thanks for just watching the content and sharing, okay? Because of you, that's why I do this, all right? Hello from me and the wife. Greetings from Jimmy Williams and Arlene Williams. I just want you guys to know one little thing. You saw what the title is, right? How to get 100 contracts with a minimum $100 investment. Yes, it's possible. I did it as of today, March the 12th. I hit 100 contracts and I started back in March. So in 5 months with a $100 investment, I just bought another 15 pack that took me to 100. And I want to show you how I did it. It's not as hard as you think, okay? I'm going to show you what to do. There's 2 principles you need to live by. I'm going to talk about them in just a minute. All right. I want you guys to do this. All right. I want you to be better than me. I want you to, my teammates, if you're watching this, I want you to be greater than myself. All right. Follow these 2 things I'm going to teach you. Do them to the T. Watch how things change. Follow me on the other side. Let's get started. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, peace and blessings to you from the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia. Jimmy Williams here. I wanted to do this video for all of you who are out there and, you may not have a lot of money. You may have very little to get started with. And I'm just showing you that this is very possible to start with a small $100 investment to activate your first contract. And then you just go to work, okay? I'm gonna break down a couple of things here and show you guys the power of getting out there and just sharing this opportunity with someone. Okay, if you look at my screen, you can see I have 100 contracts, all right? 100 contracts. And guys, I started with $100. As you can see, I have $8,555 in commissions. Lock profits is just about $200,000. $112,000 is mine. The $87,000 is my downline. All right. I started back in early March, and as of to date, August the 12th, 5 months in, I just purchased another 15 contracts today. So I'm at 100 contracts. I have 30 more to go. My wife has about 35, and we are in it to win it. But I want to encourage you to let you know that if you do the steps that I'm going to describe and talk about in this short video, you can do the same thing. Don't let money be your problem, okay? There's 2 principles I want you to apply, and you can do exactly what I did, because if I did it, anyone else can do it. I do this part-time in addition to my other real estate and financing business. I have a coaching business. I have other things that I do, and I do this strictly maybe 2 to 3 hours per day, okay? I have a YouTube channel where I make videos nearly every day. Last few days, I've been kind of slacking off a little bit because I had one video that went viral and I had some extra time. But my point is I do it part-time, all right? So before I share these 2 principles, let me share with you how much my net worth is so you can see exactly how I did this. And I'm going to tell you how to do it as well, okay? So you can get 100 contracts. And I recommend that you do it in this order, okay? And then I'm going to show how I did it. What I recommend you doing is getting 10 5-year contracts, get 10 7-year contracts, and get 5 3-year contracts. And then you go ahead and you buy 5 bundles, which is going to cost you $5,000. Okay, so for the 5-year, the 10 5-year, the 10 7-year, the 5 3-year, that's 25 contracts. So that's going to cost you $2,500. And then you get those 5 bundles for $5,000. So you out of pocket, you're looking at $7,500 if you were to do it yourself. But if you get to work and do what I did here, as you can see, I came out of pocket with $100. That was it. My wife did the same thing. We just went to work, started sponsoring people, and started educating them. All right. So here's my personal portfolio. I have 63 contracts at the 24-month level. Okay. That's $1.3 million that's going to pay me in 2027. I have 11 contracts of the 36-month package. It's going to pay me $385,000 in the year 2028. I have 14 contracts at the 5-year level. So in March, April, and May of 2030, I'll have $6.5 million that's going to come in from those 14 contracts. And then in 2032, I have 12 contracts at $1.5 million. That's going to pay $18 million in the year 2032, all in Bitcoin. And so collectively, The portfolio that I have here is worth about $23 million altogether. All right. And then my downline is more than likely going to be, about 14 or 15 million, looking at this number here, because this number is the referral staking. It grows every day. But I looked at my total downline, which is 66 referrals. Several of them have tons and tons and tons of contracts. I'm talking some people have 80 contracts. Some of them have 90. A lot of them have 60 and 70 contracts. And so we get paid. If you guys understand how Cryptex works, you get paid, on your first level, for the people immediately underneath you, you get 8% on whatever they cash out on. And then it goes way down to 5%, et cetera, et cetera, several levels down. But my point is, my net worth is about $40 million. Okay. That's the order that I did it. But the order that I told you before is how you should do it. Here is how I built this thing. Okay. Most important thing, I want you guys to take notes, write this down so you can do this. All right. Number one, identify leaders and investors. Some investors are not leaders. Some leaders are not investors. Or you can have two in the same person. Some people, if they're a leader, they will invest. But then you have some people that may have $5,000 or $10,000 just to invest, just to put the money into Cryptex, buy their smart contracts, and let it sit. Why do I say that? Because if they have a mindset like that, if they're a leader, they'll go out and work and do what I did. They will make this kind of money here in 5 months. I have some people that are doing better than that. $8,555, guys. That's what I made just sharing the opportunity with folks. All right. And then I turn around and bought more contracts. But then you have some people that they just want to invest their money. Either way, those folks come in, they tend to buy packages. So if you get them to buy a package, if they buy a 15-pack, you make $300. So you can do the math on how many of these, my downline bought. We had several people that came in and they just bought, they activated a contract for $100. But then I had several that bought multiple contracts. I had one person, they bought 5, bundles. All right. And then I had another person that bought 3 bundles and another person bought 2. And then I have several that bought 1 bundle. That $300, it adds up. So if somebody buys 5 bundles, guys, that's $300, $600, $900, $1,200. That's $1,500 you make from one person. You could turn around and buy yourself, a pack yourself. And that's how you do that. But you have to identify leaders and or investors. And they have a certain mentality that you need to look for. Do you understand the power of investing? Not sitting around waiting for somebody to do something. They take the initiative and they do it themselves. Number 2, invest your time with them, teaching them the basic principles and the procedures of Cryptex. All right. Let me say that again. Invest your time teaching them, and grooming them. Show them the basic principles and procedures of Cryptex. Okay. How do you do that? You teach them how to add money to their wallet. That's number 1. Because once they get started, they need to know how to activate their contracts. But if they don't put money on their account, they can't activate a contract or even a pack or a 15-pack, right? So that's the first thing you do. You can send them my videos, or you can take the time yourself. If you've mastered it, you can teach it to someone else. Okay, and that's what when you're able to master something, you can do it with your eyes closed, like tying your shoe. Once you learn to tie your shoe, the lights can be off, or you could be in the middle of the desert. Doesn't matter. You can just tie your shoe without looking. And that's the same thing. That's how good you have to get at presenting and sharing how to add money to the wallet. If you can't do that, then you just send them a video, my video or somebody's video that's going to guide them. So that's number 1. Secondly, teach them, the protocol of Cryptex. Tell them, hey, listen, you just can't just reach out to customer service for every little thing, so they don't get frustrated. Teach them the do's and don'ts and plug them into meetings. That's one of the main things I think is the most underrated thing that we're not doing enough of, is inviting them to the Tuesday and Thursday night meetings so they can get the education. There's certain things that no matter how good of a presenter you are or how good you are at this, you're not going to be able to tell them everything and teach them everything. You plug them into a system with 200, 300, 400 people. They see it on the same page and, with the same mind, the same spirit. And, everybody's encouraged and they feel the energy of the group. That's more than you can ever do. And that's what they need to really be inspired to move forward, to build their business and go out and share it with other people. And I'm not trying to say you have to build a business, but when I say build a business, share it with their family. They may have a son or a daughter. They're trying to help pay for their college. All you got to do is get, a 7-year package. A 7-year, they're going to make $1.5 million after 7 years. The kid may be like, 10 or 11 years old, but by the time they graduate high school, they can have 1.5 million for their education and to buy a house or something like that. And they need to get inspired now so they can, get started. And they're not going to do that if they don't get proper education and believe in the system. I keep telling people it's not the $100 they won't invest. They just don't believe it yet. All right. Lastly, do internal transfers for them. What do I mean by that? Well, some people, they're intimidated by crypto. Okay. Especially Bitcoin. They hear Bitcoin, it's a scam, or, people are losing money, not realizing that, fiat is going backwards, or the American dollar and, just regular currency is going backwards, and Bitcoin is the future. It's the now and the future, and the other cryptos are underneath that. But they get so intimidated by it, they're not even going to try. So what do? Hey, listen, I know you're intimidated. Send me the cash via Cash App or, Venmo or Zelle, and I can buy the Bitcoin for you. Then I can add the Bitcoin to my Cryptex wallet, and I can send it to you. And that's what my wife and I have done that. Full transparency, guys, over the last month, we've probably transferred about $20,000. One person needs $2,000 added. They send it to me and my wife. We buy the Bitcoin. We add it to our wallet. We send it to them. At least $20,000 over the last month. So what am I saying? Serve your downline, serve your community, and they're more comfortable, right, to do what they see you doing. Like, they're not going to do it if you're not doing it. But when you do it for them and show them, hey, listen, I'm going to be here always to help you, they will keep buying and buying contracts, and they normally buy in volume. I'm finding out if you help them, they'll get a big package like it's nothing. All right, and that's how you do it. Those are the main two things. Let me go over that again. Number one, identify leaders, and or investors. Investors will put up the money. Leaders will go out and build it, so the money comes in. Sometimes you find a leader and an investor in one person. But either way, look for both. Again, it's all about the mentality. If people want to invest $100, they don't have an investor's mindset. But then you have people that have lost hundreds, $1,000, $100,000, and so investing $5,000 or $10,000 is no big deal. All right. Having said that, secondly, invest your time in teaching them the basic principles of Cryptex, how to add money to your wallet, understanding customer service, and helping them with internal transfers. Okay? That's basically it, guys. If you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comment section. If you need help, my team is here to help you. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.